Hey everybody, Sharon here from VidGamiac.com. Here we are today back in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, going for the Hung Up on You achievement. This is to perform 10 gallows executions. This one's going to best be done in a private game. You are going to need to play as Leatherface for this, as he's the only person who can carry victims. I am also going to recommend that you do this on any of the family house maps, simply because it's going to be easy to navigate. What you want to do is make sure you start things up. I am going to recommend that you have whoever is helping out on the victim side meet up at the Leatherface spawn. Then you're going to need to have them make a ton of noise to wake up Grandpa so you can open up the basement door so both of you can get up to the surface. So that's going to be the basic prep work to get out of the basement, so make sure you take care of that. And we're going to be doing this in reference from the Leatherface spawn, so make sure you do this from basement storage. That way we don't get too lost. So once you get the basement door opened up, you're going to want to take the staircase up, and then this is going to put you towards the back of the house right here in the den. From the staircase landing, you are going to want to head towards the kitchen. It's going to be a right onto the back porch. Cutting through here through this door is going to put you right over here into the gore room, and then one more turn is going to put you into the kitchen. The kitchen is going to have one of the gallows where we're going to do the execution, so it's going to be right here as a reference. We are going to need to come back to this in a bit, but make sure you bring up the victim character, so make sure you have them meet you in the kitchen. You're going to want to rev up your chainsaw, and then you're going to want to take them to low health. So make sure you don't go too crazy with the chainsaw. Obviously, you don't want to accidentally do a regular execution, which will kill them, which is going to defeat the whole purpose of this. So just make sure you have them keep an eye on their health bar. Once they get that low health notification, you're going to want to pull back and then stop attacking them. So once they are at low health, we're going to need to put them in a state where they are downed. So you can either wait until they bleed out. However, if you're going to be more impatient, we're going to do this. We're going to have both players move over to the bone room, which is going to be 2 rooms over. So make sure you leave through the front of the kitchen, going towards the front of the house. You're going to cut through the dining room into the bone room. It's going to be the room with the window. And then once we are here, we're going to need to have the victim player jump through the window, and we're going to need to cut them off on the other side. So make sure the Leatherface character goes up to the front door. They're going to unlock it, and then the victim character who is helping out is going to sprint, and they're going to jump through the window, which is going to take their health down to a point where it's low enough where they're down but not killed. So make sure you do that, and then as soon as they are down, you need to quickly pick them up before they pick themselves up, and then we're going to quickly bring them back to the kitchen to hang them up on the gallows. So just make sure you drag their flailing body all the way back, and then once you are back, you're going to go up to the gallows, hit the X button to hang them up, and then that's going to cause the execution animation, and that's going to start counting towards the achievement. Now, unfortunately, you can only use each gallows in the game once, so make sure you do keep that in mind. There's going to be a finite amount of them. Thankfully, on the family house maps, there's going to be 3 relatively close to one another. So if you have extra people who can help you out, make sure you bring up another player into the kitchen. And we're going to do the same thing, just with a different gallows. So make sure you have them go into the bone room. You're going to go out to the front of the house. Make sure you weaken them, and then make sure you have them jump out the window. Once they are in a downed state, just make sure you pick them up and then bring them over to the next set of gallows. Now, even if the window pane is missing, jumping through a broken window is still going to deal enough damage, so the survivor is going to be downed if they jump through it with low health. So make sure you do keep that in mind. Make sure they get into the downed state, and then you're going to pick them up, and then you're going to bring them all the way over to the next gallows. This one's going to be located at the barn. Whenever you are carrying someone like this, the gallows are going to become highlighted in yellow, so you shouldn't worry too much about getting lost if it's your first time doing something like this and you are unfamiliar with the map. Nonetheless, just bring them over, make sure you hang them up, and that's going to be another one towards the achievement, and we're going to keep going until we get our desired amount. Now, obviously, we're going to need 10 total, and there's only going to be a possibility of killing 4 victims in any one particular game, so this one's definitely going to take multiple games, so obviously it's going to be a cumulative achievement. The most you can probably get out of a game is about 2 to 3 or so, and again, I recommend doing this on Family House because the 3 gallows are going to be all relatively close to one another. So if you are going to have time for a third one, you're going to need to head back to the house. We're going to need to go towards the back of the house. So make sure you cut through the living room and then get into the back part of the hallway. This is going to allow you to take the back door out from the den, and this is going to put you in this part of the side garden. Once you are out here, you're going to want to have the victim head into the sitting room, and they're just going to jump out the window. At this point of the game, it's probably late enough where their health has depreciated to the point where you don't have to weaken them. So if they don't get downed from the window jump, you can have them go back and then try to do it again. But more likely than not, they're going to bleed out on the way back, and that's going to put them in the down state anyways. Nonetheless, whenever you do get them into the down state, regardless on however you do it, just make sure you pick them up, and then the third gallows is going to be out here in the side garden in the little tool shed area. So make sure you just drag them over. Again, it's going to be highlighted in yellow so you can't get lost. Just make sure you bring them over, hang them up, and that's going to be probably the most you can get out of any one particular game. And then we're just going to load into additional games and repeat the process, trying to get as many as we can until we get 10 cumulative. So this one is going to be a bit of a grind, and it's going to take about a handful of games to do or so. So make sure you are a little patient with this one, but just make sure you keep up at it, and 10 should come eventually. And then once you do get there, you should be good for the achievement. So here we are on our 10th and final victim, several games later. And then as we are hanging them up, the achievement is going to unlock right after that execution animation. So here we go, hooking them up one more time, Dead by Daylight style, and that's going to put us at 10. Achievement's going to be right there, 15 gamer score for this one, and that's all there is to it.